Hello everyone, I hope you're having a wonderful day. Today, we're diving into a stormy night that could change everything. Tuna vanishes with her baby after finding a shocking DNA test, and Alex drives through the pitch-black rain with only one clue: her farewell letter. Where did she run, and will he find her before the night takes her away for good? If you enjoy emotional, suspenseful stories like this, don't forget to hit subscribe so you won't miss the next videos. Rain came down hard, like it wanted to erase the road. It hit the windshield in heavy sheets and the wipers couldn't keep up. The village road was almost completely black. No streetlights, no houses close enough to throw light. Just darkness and the narrow beam of Alex's headlights cutting a short tunnel in front of him. He drove slowly, hands tight on the wheel, eyes scanning both sides of the road like he expected Tuna to appear out of the rain at any second. In his other hand, he kept gripping her farewell letter. It was crumpled, the ink smudged from water, but he could still read the lines that mattered. "I don't want to be a burden anymore." Those words sat in his chest like a stone. "Tuna!" His voice cracked as he said her name, but the storm swallowed it. "Where are you?" Every few seconds he leaned forward, squinting into the rain, searching roadside shadows, trees, broken fences, abandoned yards, anything that could hide a person carrying a baby. His mind kept replaying the last moments at the farm. The phone left on the table, the letter, the empty house. He could still see her weak face from that morning. She was still sick. The baby was still so small, and he had let her walk into the night. A sharp regret rose up, quick and hot. Alex slammed his palm against the steering wheel once, not hard enough to break anything, but hard enough to punish himself. Why hadn't he said it sooner? Why had he let her believe she was only someone to be pitied? He remembered those days at the farm, bringing porridge, checking her fever, asking if she'd eaten, listening to her quiet "thank you" that always came with a look like she didn't fully believe she deserved help. He'd thought he was just being responsible, just being kind, just doing what any decent person would do. But now, driving through this storm, he finally admitted it. It wasn't just kindness. Something had grown quietly in him. Not loud, not dramatic. It was the kind of feeling that sneaks in while you're doing everyday things, while you're wiping someone's forehead, while you're making sure a baby is warm, while you're sitting in silence with someone who's too tired to talk. And now it was too late to pretend it didn't matter. Rainwater seeped through a small crack near the window, dampening the letter in his hand. Alex didn't care. His eyes stung and he realized he was crying, but it didn't look like tears with the rain pouring over his face. He took a shaky breath. "I'll find you," he said, out loud, like a promise he could hold on to. "Even if I have to tear this night apart." The car rolled on, tires cutting through puddles, engine steady, his heart anything but steady. Not far away, an abandoned house sat by the roadside, half hidden by tall grass and leaning trees. The tin roof was rusted and full of holes. Rain dripped through it in steady drops, and the sound inside was like constant tapping, like someone knocking again and again with no answer. In the darkest corner of the room, Tuna huddled on the dirt floor with her child wrapped tight against her chest. They were both wet. Her clothes clung to her skin. The baby's tiny body trembled from the cold, but he slept, exhausted, his small hand gripping her shirt like he was afraid she'd disappear. Tuna held him tighter, trying to shield him with her own body. She had a small flashlight in her hand, but the battery was weak. The beam flickered, then steadied just enough to light her face. Her cheeks looked hollow. Her eyes were red and swollen. The fever had already drained her, and the fear of this night drained what was left. She stroked her child's hair with shaking fingers and whispered, "Mom is sorry. Because of me, you've suffered since you were little." Her voice was soft, but the pain in it was heavy. She had written the letter. She had left the phone. She had told herself she was doing the right thing, leaving so Alex wouldn't be pulled into her life, leaving so his family wouldn't be ashamed, leaving so he could have the proper future everyone believed he deserved. And she had believed she could be strong enough to disappear. But sitting here in the cold, listening to the rain, she felt the truth. Leaving didn't make her strong. It just made her alone. Tuna stared into the darkness beyond the doorway, rain blowing in through gaps. Her mind replayed Alex's sister's words, sharp and clean, like a verdict. You will ruin his life. Tuna swallowed hard, blinking away tears that kept coming. He'll be fine, she whispered, more like she was trying to convince herself. He deserves real happiness. The baby stirred slightly, his tiny fingers tightening on her shirt. That simple movement cracked something inside her. A doubt rose quietly. What if I'm wrong? What if leaving isn't protecting anyone? But before she could follow that thought, a sudden sweep of light flashed across the wall. Headlights. Tuna froze. The flashlight slipped from her hand, rolled across the floor, and the beam pointed upward, shaking slightly as it flickered. Outside, a car slowed, then stopped. The engine sound cut through the rain like a heartbeat. Tuna's breath caught. She hugged her child tighter, fear rising fast. If it was someone bad, she had nowhere to run. Then she heard a voice, muffled by rain but close. "Tuna!" Her heart stopped for a second. That was Alex. Alex's headlights lit the abandoned house just enough for him to see something unnatural in the darkness, a weak, flickering light leaking from a crack in the door. His stomach clenched. He slammed the brakes. The car jerked to a stop, and before the engine fully settled, he was already out in the rain. It drenched him instantly. His shirt stuck to his skin. He didn't care. He ran to the door and shoved it open. The hinge creaked loud, and the sound echoed inside the empty space. "Tuna!" he called again. His eyes adjusted. The inside was damp and dark, with stained walls and the smell of wet wood. Then he saw her. In the corner, huddled like she was trying to become invisible, Tuna held the baby tight. Her face was pale, her eyes wide, her whole body shaking. Alex dropped to his knees in front of her, like his legs gave out from relief. "Tuna," his voice broke. "I found you." Tuna stared at him like she couldn't believe he was real. "Alec, why did you come here?" He reached out, hands trembling, and touched her shoulder carefully, like he was afraid she'd vanish if he moved too fast. "I'm sorry," he said. "I'm sorry I was late." Tuna's tears spilled immediately. She tried to turn her face away, ashamed, but Alex didn't let the distance grow. He leaned in and wrapped his arms around her, around both her and the baby, pulling them close. His body heat felt like a small fire in the cold. Tuna made a sound between a sob and a breath, and for the first time since leaving the farm, she let herself collapse into someone else's arms. Alex held her tightly, and his voice lowered, steady even though his chest was shaking. "I won't let you go again," he whispered. "Never." The baby stirred between them, making a tiny sound, then settled again, still holding on. For a moment, the rain outside softened into background noise. The abandoned house didn't feel as empty. The darkness didn't feel as sharp. It was just two people who had almost lost each other, breathing in the same space again. Alex pulled back just enough to look at her face. "Did you see the paper?" Tunar's expression changed. Fear, pain, anger, and shame all at once. She nodded slowly, eyes filling again. Alex took a shaky breath. "I dropped it by mistake. I never wanted you to find it alone." Tunar swallowed hard. "Then tell me," she whispered. "Tell me what it means." Alex nodded, his hands still on her shoulders, grounding her there. "I will," he said. "I'll tell you everything, right now." Rain kept tapping the tin roof, but inside the abandoned house the noise felt farther away. Alex stayed kneeling in front of Tunar like he was afraid that if he stood up, she would stand up too and run again. Tunar held the baby close, her arms tense from cold and fear. She looked at Alex, eyes wet, trying to read his face. Alex pulled a folded paper from his pocket. It was damp and wrinkled, the DNA test. "You saw this," he said quietly. "And I'm sorry, I'm the reason you saw it like that." Tunar's voice came out small. "So it's true?" Alex nodded once. "Yes, the result says you and Johnny have no blood relation." Tunar's breath shook. Even hearing it again felt like being hit. Alex continued, speaking slowly, choosing simple words. "I didn't do this to hurt you. I asked for it because I suspected something was wrong for a long time. Johnny has lied about too many things, and I wanted you to be free from whatever he was still holding over you." Tunar stared at him, frozen. "Then why didn't you tell me?" Alex looked down for a second. "Because I was careless. I thought I'd explain later in a calmer moment. I didn't expect you to find it alone. I didn't expect my sister to come and say those things. I didn't expect you to leave that night." He swallowed hard. "But none of that is your fault." Tunar shook her head fast, tears falling again. "It is my fault. Everything is my fault. I'm old. I'm messy. My past is—" Alex cut in gently, firm but not loud. "Stop!" Tunar blinked at him. Alex leaned closer, eyes steady. "You're not a problem. You're not a shame. And you're not a burden." Tunar's lips trembled. "Your sister." "I'll handle my sister," Alex said. "But first, I need you to hear this from me." He took a deep breath. His voice shook just slightly, like he was forcing himself to finally say what he'd avoided. "When I first met you at the farm, I thought I was just helping. That's what I told myself. But the more I stayed, the more I saw you. Not just a woman who needed help, a woman who works, who protects her child, who keeps going even when she's exhausted." Tunar stared, almost confused. She wasn't used to someone speaking about her like she mattered. Alex continued. "You think you're weak because you cry, but you're not weak. You survived things that would break most people. You kept your child safe. You kept that farm running. You kept breathing." His throat tightened. "And somewhere in those days, I fell in love with you, quietly, without even realizing it." Tunar froze. The words didn't feel real. Her heart pounded like it wanted to reject hope before it could hurt her again. "Alex," she whispered. "Don't say that." Alex shook his head. "I have to say it. Because you ran tonight thinking you were doing the right thing. You ran thinking you were saving me." He looked at the baby, then back at her. "But you don't save me by disappearing. You destroy me." Tunar's face crumpled. "I was scared." "I know," Alex said. I was scared too. When I got back to the farm and saw your letter, my hands couldn't stop shaking. Tuna swallowed hard, shame rising again. I didn't want to trouble you. Your family, your life. Alex leaned in a little more. My life is my choice. He reached for her hand carefully. Tuna hesitated, then let him hold it. His grip was warm and steady. I'm not asking you to be perfect, Alex said. I'm asking you to stay. Tuna's tears kept falling, but her voice was clearer now. I felt something too, she admitted. From the times you stayed, from the way you looked at my child like he mattered. But I was afraid. Afraid of what? Alex asked, though he already knew. Tuna exhaled shakily. My age, my past, people talking, your sister's words, I keep hearing them. Alex nodded once. People will talk, but they don't live our life. Tuna looked down at the baby. And my child, he's so small. Alex's face softened. Then let me stand with you. Let me be there, not as a visitor, not as someone who shows up only when it's convenient. His voice dropped, serious. I want us to be a family. Tuna's eyes widened again. Alex? I'm serious, he said. I want you, and I want to protect your child too. Not because I feel sorry, but because I choose it. Tuna pressed her lips together, trembling. She wanted to believe him, but belief felt dangerous. Alex squeezed her hand gently. Come back with me. Tuna hesitated. Your sister? I'll talk to her, Alex said. I'll make it clear. Tuna swallowed. If she doesn't accept, Alex answered immediately. Then I still don't change my mind. That was when Tuna finally broke, fully. She covered her face and sobbed, shoulders shaking. Years of holding pain inside, years of being told to endure quietly, years of feeling like she didn't deserve softness. Everything poured out right there. Alex didn't rush her. He just held her close, letting her cry until her body calmed. The baby stirred once, then settled again, pressed between warmth. Tuna wiped her face slowly, breathing hard. She looked at Alex with swollen eyes. I'll stay, she whispered, for the child, and for me, and for you. Alex exhaled like he'd been holding his breath all night. Okay. He stood up carefully, then offered his hand. Tuna took it, still shaking, and Alex helped her up. We're going home, he said. By the time they reached the gate of Alex's family home, the rain had eased, but the air was still cold. The yard lights were on. The house looked solid and quiet, too clean compared to the night Tuna had just survived. Tuna sat in the passenger seat, holding the baby. Her heart raced again, but this time it wasn't just fear, it was uncertainty. She didn't know if this home would accept her or crush her. Alex stepped out first. He walked around to her side and opened the door. You're safe, he said quietly. Stay close to me. Tuna nodded, then stepped out slowly, cradling the baby. And there, already waiting, was Alex's sister. Her posture was stiff, her face was tight, like she had been standing there for a while. Alex walked forward first, not giving Tuna space to be attacked alone. Sister, he said, voice firm, I brought Tuna and the child here. I love her. I won't change my mind. His sister's eyes flicked to Tuna, then to the baby. For a moment, her expression didn't soften. Then she exhaled sharply, like she was fighting with herself. Tuna bowed her head, voice low. Sister, I don't want to trouble your family. If you don't accept me, I will leave. Alex's sister looked at her closely. The baby shifted, rubbing his eyes sleepily, then opened them just a little. His small face was innocent, confused and tired. The sister's gaze stayed on the child for a long second. Something in her expression changed, not warmth, but hesitation. She spoke, still controlled. "Little brother, you've never looked this serious before." Alex didn't move. "Because I am serious." The sister's jaw tightened. Then she stepped closer, slowly, and placed a hand on Tunar's shoulder. "Don't leave," she said, quieter than before. Tunar froze. The sister continued, voice still firm but